Hello, my brush lads, lasses, and everybody in between. My name is Tyler, and surprise, we are returning to Arena after what feels like forever. But I have abandoned Standard. See, I've spent the last weeks, months, I don't know when was the last time that an Arena video went up. I've spent that time gathering wildcards so that I could build a historic deck. I built Mono Red Storm. I'll kind of show off the deck list at the end of all of this. But yeah, I decided to leave Standard and try things in the historic format, best of one. And I've always wanted to play Storm. I practiced a couple times off. I practiced a couple times off camera, but this deck is real simple. The idea is you want to get Bergie, God of Storytelling, and Grinning Ignis. Ignis, I can't remember. It's not on screen, but I'll remember when he pops up. You want to loop the two of them. Yeah, there he is. And using, like, Hazard's Monument, you... Basically, the two of them, even without Hazard's Monument, the two of them generate infinite mana. Because Bergie says whenever you cast just a spell in general, or a red spell, you get a red mana back. Yep, see, there's Bergie. I'm really excited because I've got two pieces of the combo. Grinning Ignis. Red, return him to your hand, and you get colorless, and red added to your mana pool. And he casts for 2 in a red. And you pay a red in order to bring him back. If you combine him with Bergie, who says, yes, whenever you cast a spell, you get red. And that's all that really matters. Is you basically, without Hazard's Monument out, which reduces all of your red spells by 1, the two of them kind of can, like, Ignis can infinitely return back to your hand and then be replayed, which lets you build up a storm count. And once the storm count is high enough, you cast Grape Shot, and then you kill them with however much health they have using Grape Shot. The cool thing with Hazard's Monument is it comes with that ability of whenever you cast a red spell, you can, if you want to, discard a card, and if you do, you draw a card. So basically, if you've got the Bergie and Ingus loop, and you have Hazard's Monument out, and you have at least one card in hand, then you cast Ignis, you discard that card, you draw, and you just keep doing that until you get Grape Shot. And then, see, there's Hazard's Monument, so we're going to drop that. Reduce all of our red spells by 1. And you'll actually get to see the loop as it works here, because with Ignis and Bergie both in my hand, and with Hazard's Monument out, I can now cycle through my deck until I find Grape Shot, which is sorcery, 1 in a red. It deals 1 damage to any target, but it has Storm. So you copy it for however many times you've cast, for however many other spells you've cast that turn. And if I remember correctly, the way things are set up right here, if I untap with the mana that I have and the cards I have in hand, I win. This person I'm playing is in blue, so they swing at me with the Drake, and then they make the fatal mistake of tapping out. I have now won this game because I play Bergie. Hazard's Monument says, "Hey, you want to discard a card to draw a card?" So I draw. I get another Bergie, who I don't need, so I play that. I play the Mountain just kind of as insurance, and I cast the Ignis. Bergie gives me a red, and Hazard's Monument lets me discard and draw. I then use the red that Bergie made, and I get a red and 2 colorless back into my pool. I then use a red and 1 of those colorless to recast Ignis, getting another red from Bergie. Because normally Grinning Ignis is 2 in a red, but thanks to Hazard's Monument, it's only 1 in a red. And, sorry about that. That's right. At this point, my mouse died. And so I was panicking, trying to find the charger for it. Anyway, I'll take this time to continue to explain. So basically, every single time that I loop Ignis, and I return it to hand and I play it, I end up with a net of 1 colorless, but it doesn't even matter. Because at this point, I'm just looking to dig for Grape Shot. Alright, my mouse is back up and running. I decided, just kind of as insurance, to get the Runaway Steamkin out. I don't need it, but Runaway Steamkin is another way to build up mana if you really need it. But yeah, see, at this point, it's just constantly play Ignis, trigger all of these, discard a card because I don't need it, and just dig for Grape Shot. And this is kind of... Obviously, there's no real easy way for Arena to really do this. But the fact that I have to... This is kind of one of those things that Paper Magic has over a client like this. In that if I was playing this in paper, I could show the person what I'm doing, and I could just start, I could tell them, like, I'm going to do this till I get to Grape Shot, and then I'm going to build up 1,000 Storm Count, and I'm going to kill you with Grape Shot. Which is, with this, I'm actually forced to sit here through all of these and cycle my 60-card deck looking for one of my 4 copies of Grape Shot. But I've been wanting to play this deck. I got real excited there for a second because I'm running 1 copy of Shock because I've only got 3 Faithless Looting. I kind of show it off in the deck list later, but I really wanted to play this. I really wanted to show off this deck, so I kind of, for now, I'm running 1 copy of Shock to kind of replace. But there's the Grape Shot. You can see my Storm Count there is now at 14. But now, because Hazard's Monument is a May ability, I just cast, get the red from Bergie, and then just decline to use the Monument's ability. Yeah. So, I've got the little counter. Technically, I could fire off Grape Shot now because it's the initial Grape Shot plus 17 copies. But I play it safe. I get the Storm Count to 18. I cast Grape Shot, and I get 17 copies of Grape Shot that I just put on the stack, and we laser beam this person down. This is the first time I've ever actually, like, stormed off. I don't play Storm decks. I don't have... I normally play Commander, and Storm I don't think is great for Commander. Because you have so many more cards, and it's kind of hard to get that degree of repetition because of how specialized Storm cards are. So I don't play Storm. So what you and I just witnessed there was my first time ever Storm, and it felt so good. I kind of want to branch out with Tendrils of Agony and try to win that way. In Commander, it would be kind of cool to go off with Chain of Smog and Professor Onyx, but anyway, let's move on to the next game. So, moving on to the second game, I keep a risky hand just because I've only got one piece of the combo with Grape Shot. But because I've got the Faithless Looting, and because I've got the Channeler, I bank on being able to draw into, guess what, a second Grape Shot, which I don't need. So I toss that, I toss away an extra land. And I hold on to a pair of mountains, I hold on obviously to my Grape Shot, and my plan is to play the Channeler next turn until they drop Soul Warden, who just completely, if Soul Warden is out, they gain a life every time a creature enters the battlefield under anyone's control. And because of how I need to build up my storm count, they would gain a life every time I play the Ignis. Every time I play the Ignis, they would gain a life, thus completely negating the 1 damage that Grape Shot does. But I draw the second piece of my combo. They end up playing the Young Valkyrie, and I flashback play Faithless Looting, and I get a pair of Warlord's Fury. So I toss the Mountain, and I toss the Channeler, and I'm going to bank on Warlord's Fury, single red. Single red, draw a card. That's the only reason I have it. That's all that I'm using it for. So they go Temple of Plenty, and another Soul Ward. So I'm now scared because I need to get one of my other copies of Frostbite in order to deal with that Soul Warden. It sucks, especially because I have the full combo in hand. So I play the Channeler because my plan is to try and use it to try and dig for removal, and then it gets removed by the Skyclave Apparition, leaving me defenseless. I've got the full combo in hand, and then I draw that 1 copy of Shot. And I get rid of the Soul Warden. I could have played Bergie, but I end up holding it back just in case they have more removal. And I don't want to risk losing Bergie. So they end up playing the Resplendent Angel. Their Youthful Valkyrie gets a counter. They swing for some damage. And I draw a Mount. So at this point, I make the risk. And I drop Bergie. If with the amount of mana I have, I no longer need Hazard's Monument. All I need to do is untap with Bergie and hope that they can't remove Bergie while I'm comboing on. So they play the Bishop of Wings, and then they tap out for a second Resplendent Angel. And with that, I have won this game. They swing at me for 6 in the air, but it does not matter. And I will not subject you to watching me build up a storm count of 26. At least not at normal speed. So, I mean, second verse, same as the first. I sit here, I play the Ingus, I bring it back to hand, and you can see my storm count getting higher and higher on the Grape Shot. And then it literally machine guns them. It sounds like gunshots. And there it is. End up walking away with a second victory. And with that victory, I've got one more game. But it's one where my hubris gets the best of me. So we'll cut to the third game. And as you can see, I've got a 1-land hand, but I've got 3 of the 4 pieces that I need. So I keep. I just need to get 2 more lands, and then I can get the monument, and everything will be fine. I play the 1 land. I'm like, I've got a couple of Frostbites. It's fine. I can hold off whatever they're going to play. Oh, a Steamkin. All right. So I don't get anything. Then I draw a Channeler. It's like, that's not a land. So we're gonna throw away the channeler. And I'm just, it starts to sink in at this point. I might have screwed up just a little bit. But how can it be bad? I've got most of the combo in hand. This will be fine. I'm in red. Everything is gonna be fine. I'll draw like 2 or 3 more lands, and then I'll win. That's how this rolls. And so they end up losing that, and I get a Warlord's Fury, which draws me into my 3rd Hazard's Monument. So I pass the turn. Storm giveth and storm taketh away. They play the Dwarven Mine, and they get a little dwarf friend out there. Something I can Frostbite, which I can't even get the 3 damage off of because I've only got 1 snow permanent. And a Prismari Commanding. Drawing 2 cards and discarding 2 cards, and then making a treasure token. But it's all going to be worth it. It's all going to be worth it when we grape shot them. And I hit the 2nd land. Never didn't have it. Frostbite the... I was going to Frostbite the 1/1, and instead... let's get the Steam King. See, that way I can build up counters on it from using the Frostbites, and then I can turn those into more mana, and I can fire off my combo. It's all perfect. Why are you highlighting my Steamkin? Oh, Prismari Command. Cool. So I lose my Steamkin, and I get hit for 1. And I get a Faithless Looting. So out of pure malice, I fire the Faithless Looting. Hoping to get something. And then it gets Memory Lapsed. And now out of spite, I Frostbite the Dwarf. So it gets countered and it goes to the top of my deck. So now I know I'm not drawing a land. But plan is still... so they brainstorm. But the plan is still Faithless Looting, drop the Frostbite, drop one of the monuments, and get to Bergie and get to another land. Never didn't have it. I have this while they sit there with all of their lands and their brainstorm and their real spells. I've got this. I only need like 2 more lands. Everything's fine. Let's see what's in their graveyard. And then they time warp and take an extra turn. So that was cool. And then they Velomachus Lorehold, and it's now dawning on me that thanks to Brainstorm, they know what the top 2 cards of their deck are. And Velomachus says you can cast an instant or sorcery with a mana value equal to or less than his power. And Time Warp is 5 value. So he casts another one, casts a 3rd one, gets a giant shark off, Shark Typhoon, and that's it. I'm not gonna survive the next turn. So that was my hubris getting a hold of me. But before we sign off, let's take a quick look at the deck itself. I call it Historimic because I'm clever. So, as I said before, I've got the 1 copy of Shock. That the only reason I have it is because I've only got 3 Faithless Lootings. As soon as I get a 4th Faithless Looting, then I'm going to replace the Shock with it. But 4 Crash Throughs, 4 Warlord's Fury, those all just draw me a card for a single red, Magmatic Channeler, and add the Shock back in. It's a pretty bare bones, pretty simple. It's baby's first Storm deck. But yeah, that's it. That's what I got. Thank y'all for watching me. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, ring that little bell so you never miss an upload. Give me some more historic deck lists that I can build and play in the future. And keep an eye on my Twitter account this upcoming Wednesday, June 9th, for a very special surprise. But anyway, y'all, I have been Tyler. Thank you for joining me. Bye.